Amazon is getting ready to launch the next Netflix, and it's going to be powered by artificial intelligence. Get ready for a new era of entertainment where content creators like on YouTube are creating shows and sitcoms and even movies. All new, but sometimes using IPs like Star Wars and more. Today, we'll tell you about the major, giant, Galactus-size announcement and what it means for places like the House of Mouse. Hello, folks, and welcome back to another dandy day. Happy that you've come our way. An attitude of gratitude every single time you decide to click on one of our videos. Folks, as we dive in, consider clicking the like button. And by the way, as we do so, if you like original content, maybe you're interested in brand new music from a radio station made by people who like you, well, check out Prelude Pro Radio. It's from us, for you, with music you must hear to believe. Folks, let's dive into the story today about a new AI Netflix from Amazon. Take a look at this out of Culture Crave. Amazon, that's right, Mr. Bezos is backing an artificially intelligent generated streaming service.
Yep.
AI generated streaming service. Yeah. Describes it as the Netflix of AI. It lets users type prompts to generate scenes or full episodes. It can create content from scratch or build on existing IPs. And this is what's so fascinating. Allegedly, Disney and other studios are in talks to license the IPs. Now, let me explain what this means. What this would be is that content creators, like YouTubers, but in this case, AI content creators, get to make entire shows out of properties like Star Trek and Star Wars, allegedly again, and then I guess that Disney gets a cut of the percentage. So very soon, you might be getting to receive the type of Luke Skywalker you always wanted. Unless you think that we're crazy and this is not real, it's some sort of April Fool's joke arriving on the wrong day. Out of Variety, Todd Spangler with this. Amazon invests in Netflix of AI startup Fable, which launches Showrunner, a tool for user-directed TV shows. This is going to unleash incredible creativity all across the country and the world for people to make their own TV shows, no longer needing giant studios to do it. Now, let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room. Yes, this will cut out huge amounts of artists and creatives and people who work on the technical side of things. This will put everything into the hand of a single director who is sitting at their home on a standard computer, but has access to a vast array of massive amounts of computing power. I don't know if this will succeed, but what I can tell you is I see a future where lots of companies are competing for this. If you think for a minute that Amazon is going to launch this thing and that Disney has already given up and is like, yeah, we'll license the IP for people to make their own Star Wars. If you think that Amazon's going to do that and YouTube is going to be like, no, we're just totally not going to compete in that space, even though it could eat our lunch. Think again.
Yeah.
YouTube will definitely compete. You think Netflix is not going to say, should we have content creators make stuff for us and we don't have to pay them, they pay us, and then we get a cut of it?
Here's an interesting proposition, bro. And everybody follow along with me. When it comes to technology, if it's in a vacuum without any, controls, artificial controls, that try to, artificially balance things to one side of the equation, the internet and everything that's ever hit the internet, especially early on, always leaned to the right and more conservative and more popular, representations of material. So do you guys think that this is going to show them just how wrong they have been to lean the opposite direction and, in fact, force it for the last decade and a half?
Well, let's play that out. Buffman Steve, give me your thoughts on this. Let's say that Disney makes a deal with one of these companies, either YouTube or Amazon or whoever, and they agree that they're going to license out their Star Wars stuff. and somebody, let's say it's Star Wars Theory. Let's have some fun, okay? Let's say Star Wars Theory uses AI and maybe some of his own, physical real stuff and combines it with AI to make a Star Wars movie that is way, way better. Let's say that he makes an AI Star Wars thing that takes place right after the original trilogy, features a heroic Luke Skywalker, Leia, Han Solo. The voices sound right. The imagery looks right. The music's right. Everything's right. Let's say it's a 2-hour-long, amazing movie. And yeah, there are some places where you can tell it's AI, but for the most part, it looks legit, too legit to quit. That will be, I think that will be the repudiation against Disney and all of these companies. You're going to see massive amounts of people who show once and for all, they really could make Star Trek better. And all these other doofus eyes who continue to prophesy that these brands are diminished and there's just no way to get them back to where they were. Steve, your thoughts?
Disney would never do that. They would have, that would be them admitting defeat. So that they wouldn't let you touch anything Star Wars. You would be forced to create your own unique content, uploading your own unique designs and putting them in if they were going to do it. That would be the only way that Disney would ever do it. They'll never allow you to do anything Marvel. Maybe Marvel, because they have already like What If, so maybe they would allow superhero stuff, but they would never let Star Wars have its own thing. Disney princesses, I highly doubt you would have an opportunity to do anything with. Maybe some of the kid Fox products you might be able to do something with, but by and large, they wouldn't do it. But just to speak into the process, the thing that I'm actually now starting to do and experiment with is utilizing AI within my own music that I'm making. And so I'm making my own content, but then I'm uploading it because I typically use Suno. I know you're not a Suno fan pro, but that's the one I use just for usability and stuff. And I'm uploading my own content in, and it's sounding way better because it's something that's actually man-made, but it's now being adjusted, and so it's actually increasing the quality of what is there, and that's actually allowing me to then kind of go back in, rip out what I like, put that now into my tracks, and then I'm enhancing on top of what I already have with the stuff that I'm able to do, because I can't afford to have people playing electric guitars for me and getting the right sounds and having that like whatever factors I'm trying to pull in, and so I'm able to enhance what I'm doing through AI. So what's going to happen is you're going to have people modifying and adapting as opposed to being outright removed. So those animators that are actually good, they're never going to be out of a job. They're going to be able to produce even more and better because they actually have that underlay that they can now go in and actually correct what the AI has made or add into the process. And so I think that if Disney was smart, which they're not, they would enable that kind of a process to happen. Netflix, yes, they would do it. And odds are they would make that their free platform similar to YouTube. I can see that Netflix doing that. If Elon Musk had any sense, he would do that with X. But I don't think Elon is actually that wise, because if he was, he would already have YouTube version of X already rolling, or at least some version of it, and he'd have like an own video channel on X, because that's not hard to do with the platform that they already have. And so X is just going to be primarily a text-based platform. But I think that I'm just being honest on my opinions there, because like I know Elon wants to go into the media space, but he doesn't have the time, the energy, and the motivation. And so I think Netflix, they would pick it up and run with it. Disney would flee.
Well,
hey, if I chime in for a second?
Yeah. Let me show one thing real quick before you do. I want to show people this. Let me go to the this YouTube channel here. Now, I'm not going to play this. I just want people to know it exists. I'm not going to play it because I don't know what Disney will do with it. But this has almost 130,000 subscribers. It's called Skywalker Stories, and it is basically a YouTube channel that's already out there doing this. It takes characters that you know. This one with Luke Skywalker encountering Darth Bane has almost 720,000 views, and it is very, very impressive. If you put it on Disney Plus, 99% of people would not know that it's AI. And I bet 98% would say it's better than anything Disney has put out. It's at least 100 times better than the Acolyte. But I want people to see this is already happening. I know a lot of people out there don't know. And so they say, well, Pro, you guys are out in La La Land. This is not going to happen. It's like,
yeah, it is.
It already is. And you all can go watch these. I can't play them on the channel for reasons, but you can go watch them and see what you think for yourself. Go ahead, Nolan.
Okay, I'm so glad you actually brought this up because I've seen the Luke Skywalker Darth Bane video and it is a very, very well executed product. But I have a very different take on this whole ordeal, and it's honestly a bit more pessimistic because we know recently that Disney and a few other companies have had this whole lawsuit ordeal going in with some of these, content creators using their IP with this whole AI stuff that started up here recently. They really want to push back on what we own, what we can control. They don't like people using their products and their characters. Could Jeff Bezos be working to try to get a bit of a monopoly? Because I'm afraid that this could be perhaps the death of these kind of channels, because these channels are showing that they have a spark. They are enlightening all the fans that have been starved of this kind of content. This could be an opportunity for them to be like, okay, we see we can't compete with these creators right now. Let's get them onto our platform and go ahead and hire them, and they're going to be cheaper than some of these elaborate productions. However, then they lose out on some of the freedoms, and now the big company is going to get a lot more say on what's being controlled, what's going to be going out there under their radar, and still making the kind of profits that these channels would have already been getting in the first place. And that just raises a lot of concern to me. I'm open to any pushback if anyone has it.
I have a completely different take, because there's a part of me that is looking at what Disney did, and this is from a theme park perspective. Going back all the way, I want to say to 2015, when Disney was first planning the Star Wars area, now called Galaxy's Edge, their land in the theme parks. Initially, I think they were going to go with Tatooine, and then somewhere around 2017, it was that we heard what Galaxy's Edge was going to be. And Galaxy's Edge was meant to be a place where people could come into the park and create their own Star Wars story. Starting off you're in the Star Wars galaxy, but nothing you've ever seen in a movie. How many people who are big Star Wars fans go into Galaxy's Edge and go, wait a second, this is not the Star Wars that I want if I'm going to be creating my own version of Star Wars. And now you're coming out of that with technology and the availability to do just that. And it's Disney that put them in the position in the parks to actually inspire that creation, because, hey, we said we're going to let our fans create. And now there's a technology where they can take it out of the parks and actually go create something real online. And you have, the example of it with the Darth Bane. The things that I watch that I think are funny is the AI messes up Star Wars, or those videos. There's also a channel where it's like the ghost of Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan and Luke and Qui-Gon are sitting around and watching Star Wars clips and talking about it. Those are kind of funny. There's so many different directions that you can go with this. And we talk about Star Wars, but yes, there's Marvel. Yes, there's The Simpsons. There's even, I'm thinking, what if you wanted to do an update to Song of the South or any other older Disney property or anything out there? This opens up avenues that we couldn't even have imagined a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Let's go to,
I think it's endless amounts of possibilities. Here's the question I have. If you're truly a creative person, why would you want to throw in to Disney? Like, I would, if I had the access to the tools to create literally anything I wanted to create out of if I'm a real creative, if I'm an actual creative, I wouldn't want to play around in the Star Wars sandbox or the Marvel sandbox. I would be more interested in doing my own creations, my own unique designs and characters and stories. Why would I want to play around with what Disney has? Because Disney's just going to use it. Number one, probably take money out of your pocket for it. Or number two, say, well, we like your idea. We're going to take it. We're going to use it for ourselves. Thanks for playing. And then they'll just take whatever ideas you come up with and they'll run with that. I wouldn't want to mess around with Disney if I'm a real creative. Now, if Disney wants to get some, for hire, some creative hire, gun for hire. I'm trying to think of the right name for it. But, if they want to just grab somebody and just say, hey, you know what, play around with this AI stuff and create some Star Wars content for us. And you seem to have a good creative mind. You go ahead and do that. Yeah, they'll probably do that, but I don't think they'll allow, just like Steve said, just run-of-the-mill audience members and people to jump on board with that, because it would make them look like idiots. It's like people, the real talent behind Star Wars all the time, the fans. You've ignored them. You've ignored everything the fans have been telling you over the last, you guys look like real idiots right now. Now that the fans have gotten a hold of the franchise, they're doing things right. So I think Disney, just from that alone, wouldn't want any fans taking hold of those types of properties. Especially, like I said, when it comes to something like Star Wars, which has been hugely divisive over the past decade.
So here's what I would say. Let's say that there's a channel like Skywalker Stories or Star Wars Theory, and they say, you know what? I don't need money back. I don't need any funding. Now that I've got these tools, I just want to show what fools have been running Lucasfilm. I'm going to make something better than they ever dreamed of, and I'm going to get millions and millions and millions of views on something that doesn't make me a dime, but it proves for all time that this is what we wanted. I'm going to give the fans what they wanted. I think that's a possibility coming up. I also want to say, I want to clarify for everybody out there, I am not in favor of a total AI takeover. That's crazy. That would also drive all of us here on this panel out of a job if you just, watch YouTube channels where AI give their opinions about things. So I'm not in favor of that. But it's inevitable that AI is going to be a tool, just like CGI knocked out a lot of practical effects. And I don't like that. I can tell the difference. I like practical effects. The people who blend this stuff together seamlessly and use these tools to make something amazing, but don't forget to use real people and real artists, that's where it's going to work. Culture, final thoughts.
I'm looking forward to this, and under what is outlined with the Amazon idea around this, I think it will do exactly what you just described, bro. I think there's a lot of room for that. But I agree with Derek. I absolutely wouldn't want to give them my best stuff, because they won't allow me to control my best stuff. I think Amazon's going to try to bake in an idea that people who create things are going to be paid in some form or fashion. But I still think that the entities that control these IPs are going to be shown to be so poor that they will be embarrassed and they may pull back. I think that's probably the outcome. Other than that, we still need real people. I mean, even to the worst effect possible, Marvel used real people in the Fantastic Four and practical effects with model building that was absolutely some of the worst I think I've ever seen.
Culture, I just want to thank you because you're the realest of the real people. You're one of the real ones, Culture.
Okay, well, good. Yeah, I just pinched myself. I'm good.
I pinch myself every time you come on the channel, I'll be honest. Folks, that's where we'll leave it. But we'll keep an eye on this, and it looks like the race is on to create the next Netflix, but this time with AI, where you sit down and say, I'd like my favorite TV show, please. How about more of those Quantum Leap episodes? Thank you very much. And that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. We are done for now, but don't worry. Do not fret. Not yet, for more content is still coming your way 4 times a day right here on the Pro channel. What a joy it has been to share our time with you. We hope you feel the same. Adding value to your every single day is our job here, and we take it very seriously. Folks, the only thing we ask in return is that you consider clicking that like button. Share, subscribe, click it. Stick it to those algorithms. It's the notification bell. And drop a comment right on down below. And folks, if you'd like to subscribe to our partner YouTube channels, That Part Place, That Pod Place, That Game Place, and some of those radio stations like Vacation Radio, well, we certainly would appreciate it. Until the next time we have the honor of spending time and being invited into your day, folks, we go on our way saying this: keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Jump into the water!
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.